Because when the first biotic unit came into existence, it did not come into existence because God wanted to create that unit. It came into existence because God wanted to create man. Throughout the evolution, this is the true understanding of evolution. It's a guided evolution. And the proof is that the first bricks of life, which made the first bio units, are a marvel in themselves, which man with all his advanced knowledge cannot create. So although many biologists believe that there is no concept of any sudden creation in God, godly creations, we always find evolution and development. And they ignore the fact, intentionally, that the evolution could not have taken place until the first bio unit was perfected. And it was perfected in the sense that it had all the characters and genes and chromosomes, etc., the potential for these chromosomes and genes in the first brick of life, DNA, call it DNA or RNA. How could this evolve? They have never offered any explanation of the evolution of the bricks of life. And they cannot. Because it's a so complicated affair, so impossible to have happened by chance, and also without any previous trace of its evolution, that the scientists keep dumb over it and begin to talk of evolution after the first step has been taken. That first step went on and on, being a common factor to life. So all they talk about life is founded on the creation of that first brick of life, for which they have no evolutionary explanation. So all the rest is just simple wishful thinking, They want to move away from God, so they have invented the cliche of natural selection. Of course, there are selections on the way, but every selection requires a prior creation. And natural selection is not creator. Natural selection cannot enforce anything in the system and the mechanism of production. They are controlled by the genes, by the cellular tissues, which have been created and perfected before natural selection came into being. This is a dilemma which they avoid, of course, but if they delve deep into their own selves, they must admit that there is no way of putting scientific ideas, because the only reason why they do not analyze the situation further is they do not want to admit the existence of God. To shun that existence, they have overloaded them with scientific problems which they cannot resolve without admitting the third factor of God, who combines in him both the creation and selection. Because unless you create with a design to select the right thing from that creation, you cannot create anything without being the selector in the end. And if you do create without the selection in mind, then the course of evolution will go topsy-turvy in every direction. It cannot evolve in the same direction, which can only be possible if the creator and the selector are one and the same thing. He creates with a view to lead evolution to the point where man is created. And throughout the history of evolution, there is very strong incontrovertible evidence in favor of what I am claiming. So that also has been discussed in some places in minutest detail in the book which I just mentioned, Vigyasavala, and if you are interested, of course you can read that as well, apart from Buddhism, right?